and today we're going to be talking about this word trigger or triggering. It's such an unhelpful term, and we're going to discuss why and how you can reclaim your power and change that habit. So when you say something like an event or something on social media, a word, or even something positive like one of our testimonials has triggered you, aren't you just giving it power? And as I like to say, aren't you just giving your power away to it? So when you say something is triggering, it sounds like something out there is pulling a lever on your emotions that you have no control. But really, it's just your interpretation or the lenses in which you are wearing that shapes your reaction. Let's talk about how you may feel when you use the word triggered. Does it seem to take control or power away from you? So are you in the unhelpful habit of saying the word triggered? Sometimes we automatically label discomfort as triggering without a second thought. But it's important to note that being in this habit, what you're doing is you're reinforcing that feeling of something that's uncomfortable and making it seem outside of yourself and uncontrollable, whatever that thing might be. What if you took a minute and paused and chose a different way to describe that feeling? So how often do you catch yourself saying the word triggered or triggering? Is there an alternative phrase you can try instead? Can you think of a more helpful alternative phrase? This is your chance to share. One thing we hear a lot is that emetophobia sufferers will often label food as something triggering. So maybe it's a food that you had when you were sick in the past. Maybe it's a food with an interesting texture or flavor. But is the food itself dangerous or a threat? Or did you just allow yourself to assign that meaning subjectively? Instead of assigning that meaning and creating fear, what if we challenge the belief behind it? So which food have you labeled as triggering? Part of learning to thrive is breaking our black and white thinking. So one thing you could do is go out and start to try different foods with different textures. So maybe it's an oyster, maybe it's cottage cheese, maybe it's sushi, maybe it's oatmeal. Even if it's a food that you were sick in the past when you ate, can you go out and give it a try again? Is food objectively gross even if it is a little bit sticky or clumpy? When we say that a food texture is triggering, it suggests that the food has power over us. So we want to get that power back. Let's start today. Okay, now we're going to talk about labeling bodily sensations as triggering. This can be a struggle for a lot of our clients when they first get started because they say that it causes them to spiral. Most of emetophobes' panic attacks can start with some bodily sensations that feel uncomfortable, hence the word triggering. Have you ever believed that you felt triggered by a normal sensation like maybe a little bit of hunger or gas? What might change if you viewed it as just another bodily sensation rather than a threat? Well, it starts with how you're thinking about it. Your body's going to respond in kind to the messages that you're sending it. So if you tell it that you're triggered and that this thing is a definite threat, then everything inside of your body is going to feel that way. Can you learn to look at those things as just part of what your body does in natural digestion, not a sign of impending doom or disaster? Did you know that shifting your focus from fear to a recognition that your body is just doing its job can make a big difference? It can literally stop a panic attack. So what about you? Do you think that you can stop saying the word triggered and amend it with a more helpful term that's going to help you not to create so much anxiety in your body just because you have a natural bodily sensation? Okay, now let's talk about how words can seem triggering to emetophobia sufferers. I can think of two right off the bat. The first one is vomit and the second one is Norovirus. So what about you? Are you giving your power away to words like this? Do you feel that they have power over you? It's important to remember that words are just labels. They don't hold any power over you. Instead of letting that word control your emotions, remember, just hearing the word is not going to make you sick. In fact, it can't make you anything. It's so helpful to get perspective when we've heard the term vomit, throw up, or Norovirus, because the first thing to realize is it's not happening to you, and just because you read it or heard it does not mean that you're automatically going to catch it. I also want to note something very important for you guys. Did you know that you can go through your entire emetophobia-free journey and not even mention those words once and still recover? Some people hesitate to get started because they think that the word might be in there too many times and trigger them. But our manual rarely talks about it, and by week 2 or 3, you're not even thinking about it anymore because you're feeling so good. So please don't be afraid to get started. What about you? When you hear the word vomit, what is your reaction? And how might you amend that thinking and keep yourself calm? Another way this can be very limiting is that if you fear being triggered by something, outside of yourself, you may neglect to watch some of our awesome testimonial videos. But I really want to challenge you to overcome this fear. They are so inspirational. Plus, you can always find one that's going to really resonate with your story. What about you? Are you afraid to be triggered by a testimonial video of ours? This could be really limiting for you, as hearing a testimonial that speaks to you might just be the thing that inspires you to start your emetophobia-free journey, as it was for me. I know seeing Mary's testimonial was really impactful for me. So what is the answer? How do we reclaim our power and engage in something more helpful? Imagine if we stopped using the word triggering and instead focus on how we can take charge of our mind and our feelings and our emotions. That simple thing can remind us that our mind is a tool that we can train and not our enemy against us. So the question for you is, if you stopped using the word triggering as a go-to, what do you think would change in how you approach your fear? When we say that's triggering, we sound like victims of our own environment. But we can say, this is challenging, but I can handle it. It's then that we remind ourselves that we hold the power to choose our response. What's one small change in wording that might help you feel more in control during a tough moment? I hope this has been really helpful for you. It's such an important topic and a word we often hear on social media and in pop psychology. This is a simple but very important concept and a way you can start getting your power back. Thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful Monday.